Slava Jesus Christus, Slava Navika, glory be to Jesus Christ, glory be forever. It's Father Basil Malovany again, doing another podcast. And this is the day after Canada Day. Hope everyone in Canada that's listening enjoyed their celebration with their family and friends and communities, to celebrate another year of Canada's existence. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go out much yesterday. I was at home with a bad cold, but I'm feeling a little better today, and maybe I could still celebrate Canada Day weekend a little bit today and tomorrow. So anyways, this was reflecting upon many different things this morning when I woke up. And, you know, all that's happening in the world today with all the war in Ukraine, with a lot of uncertainty going on in this world, with, a lot of political and social events happening. In a few, I think it's over a week ago, you know, we heard about that Roe versus Wade decision in the States against abortion. And my question to myself that I want to reflect upon today is, why do we as people of God, God created all of us in His image, why do we make bad decisions in life? So basically what I'm asking everyone today to reflect upon is, what causes us to sin? What causes us to do things against God's will? What causes us to make decisions that are unholy and unhealthy to us? You know, so part of my thought process this morning was, okay, where does illness and sickness come into the world? You know, if God made us perfect, if God made this world without any blemish, then why do we get ill? Why do we get sick? Well, again, it's our Catholic understanding is that, you know, from the first sin of Adam and Eve, the original sin, the world became not perfect anymore. The world, because of our actions, the people's actions of the world, it became broken. Our world became very broken, and this is why illness and sickness came into the world. And people might say, well, isn't God in control of everything? Why does He allow this to happen? Well, He gave every person freedom of choice, freedom of will. So when we make bad decisions, when we make decisions that are harmful to ourselves and others, God does not want us to do that, but He doesn't. He gave us that free choice to make the decisions either to please Him or to reject Him. He didn't make us as robots. He didn't program us to do exactly what He wants us to do. He wants us to choose love freely. So he wants us to freely choose him and to do good in this world. And when we do evil, when we commit evil acts, when we don't do what we're supposed to do, then this is how we get sick, we get ill, we get so many commotions in this world, so many, so much destruction, so much hatred, so much distrust from one another, and that works in between countries, and even among communities and among families and in marriages. It all starts from our decision making. When we make decisions that are not pleasing to God, and we make decisions that are not pleasing, are not loving to one another, then we are going to find that we will have to deal with illness, we will have to deal with sinfulness, we will have to deal with all these things that are happening in the world today. And yes, the actions that we do, that we decide to do, always affect other people. You know, we have this, the world has given us this false understanding that we are private individuals and we get to decide what we want to do ourselves, and what we decide to do doesn't matter to anyone else. You know, the world is telling us, well, you can do what you want. You don't have to worry about what anyone else thinks about you. You've heard that before, you know, when our young people are being taught, well, you do anything you want, be anything you want, and don't worry about what the world thinks, because you are your own being. You need to think about yourself first. Well, when we have that attitude, when we believe in that false understanding of who we are, this causes a lot of issues, you know, and not the least of which is the abortion issue, which I've talked a lot about the last few weeks. You know, if unfortunately we are saying that the society is saying that the woman makes the total decision whether or not to have the pregnancy, or to keep the baby or not, and that her decisions don't matter to anyone else. Well, that's false. That's a lie. Because her decisions are going to affect that baby inside her womb. Her decisions her actions are affecting that baby. Yes, and it is true. Again, I'm not gonna berate this point, but this, like, if the person who got her pregnant and however she got pregnant, the man's actions are important as well, because how he got that woman pregnant, whether they were in marriage, whether it's through, unfortunately, there's so much evil in this world. If it's through sexual assault, whether it's through anything, any way that she got pregnant, the man's actions have effects as well, of course. There's no doubt about it. But to say that the woman's actions is her own choice and nobody else matters is untrue. It's a false narrative. It's a lie. So going back to where sin and illness comes into this world, every action we make matters to us and to other people. Every action we decide to do matters. See, we have to know this. We have to visualize this. We can't pretend anymore in this world that what we do is our own private, it's private to us. That what we do doesn't matter to anyone else. What we do does matter. What we do, how we behave towards others matters. How we treat other people matters. It matters very much. So we have to get this thing out of our mind that our actions don't matter to anyone else. They do matter. Whether it be in our relationships, in our marriages, in our families, in our communities, in our world. So, where does disease and come from? Well, it comes from our actions. It comes from the decisions we make. It comes from not just our decisions, of course, but other people's decisions. The whole world's decisions. Can we make decisions that are beneficial to everyone in this world? Can we make decisions that help every single person in this world? That's a difficult thing to think about, isn't it? Because we're always thinking about ourselves first. We are taught as children nowadays that we come first before anyone else. That we need to be selfish. That we need to think of ourselves before we think of others. And that's not the way that God created us. Not at all. That's not the way that we should be living our lives. We always need to think about other people first before we think about ourselves. That's the way to live a good Christian life. So, dear people of God, when we think about all the different happenings in this world today, about the war in Ukraine, about where did COVID come from, where does illnesses come from, all the different happenings, the interactions between people, and why are people mean to each other? Why are people unloving to each other? It comes from our decision making. We decide to hate one another. Why does one country attack another country in war? Because they want something from that other country. They do not show love. No, the people of one country do not show love to the people of another country. This is not God doing it. It's people themselves doing this. And we need to show love and mercy to each other constantly. We need to show love and mercy. And again, every decision we make in this life matters. From the littlest decision to the biggest decision. Every decision we make matters. So that's why before we make a decision, we need to pray about it. We should be going to pray constantly with other people. In the church, in prayer groups, by ourselves. Pray constantly for the things happening in this world. We are not praying enough. This is something, that we are, our actions of not being prayerful have consequences in this world as well. Our actions of being selfish, of being only thinking about our own needs, that has consequences in this world as well. Today is the feast day of the Theotokos' robe of Blasharni. There's this historical event where these two people went to Jerusalem and they found a lady who had a piece of the Virgin Mary's garment that she wore before her demission, her assumption to heaven. And this garment was kept in this place, and people would come there for healing, because the Virgin Mary, of course, wants us to be healed of all of our infirmities, just like your Son Jesus Christ. So this garment was taken to this church called Blasharni by Constantinople, and many pilgrims and many people would come there to be healed of their infirmities, to be blessed by the Virgin Mary through her Son Jesus Christ. And I've been thinking, all these historical events that happened in the past, did people have more faith back then than we have today? People would drop everything they have to pray, everything they're doing to pray. Do we do that today? Do we take time and drop everything we are doing to pray to God for His protection? If we are not, then who do we blame? We have nobody to blame but ourselves. We want to blame other people for our misfortunes. We want to blame other people for our bad relationships, for our misfortunes in this world. But yet, we don't take time to pray. We don't take time to ask God for His mercy and His help and forgiveness in our lives. I think we really need to think about this today. What do we do? What do we do to ask God for His mercy and forgiveness? If we do nothing, if all we do is blame, all we do is complain about things, then nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change in our lives. But if we make those decisions that are helpful to others, that are loving to others, that are forgiving to others, I think a lot can change in our lives. Well, I've talked a lot today. God bless you. Have a great day.